Welcome back folks. With Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl releasing tomorrow, I wanted to go through all of the final news and gameplay snippets from GSC before we step into the zone again, so let's get right into it. Yesterday GSC put out global launch timing and the game will be releasing at 8 AM for Pacific Standard Time, so everyone from the West Coast will be able to play this early on in the morning. For East Coast it will be at 11 AM EST and 1 PM for BRT. When it comes to Europe, expect the game at 4 PM GMT and 5 PM Central European Time, which is also when the game releases for me, and I'm really happy it's happening in the afternoon. For Kiev and Eastern European Time it will be at 6 PM. Now when it comes to Beijing, it's releasing on midnight. It's also coming out at 1 AM in Tokyo, 3 AM in Sydney and 5 AM in Auckland. Keep in mind also that if you are playing on PC there won't be any preload, so you will have to download it on release. The game is going to ask for 160 GB on your SSD, so it might take a while to download depending on your speeds. And they do say SSDs here, which is kinda important because ever since the game's got bigger and well, engine has to stream a lot more than before, you have to install it on an SSD because you are actually running a risk of things loading really slowly if you install it on a slow hard drive. It's definitely a shame we didn't get a preload, as it would help people jump faster into the game, but it is what it is. When it comes to Xbox, it seems preload on it is working, so you can, or you should be able to preload the game right now. Nvidia also released a new trailer showcasing more gameplay footage from Stalker 2 and ultimately showcasing their DLSS 3 technology, so do keep in mind that, on release you're gonna be able to have both FSR 3.1 and DLSS at your disposal, which also means that you should update your graphical display drivers when they are available. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today, we shall see. In the other news, we also got a small snippet of how rats will look in the game, alongside showcasing more indoor atmosphere and how the game will look when we explore through those tunnels. Judging from the armor and the weapon used, this could be relatively early into the game, but we shall see. Besides that, we also got a closer look at two artifacts, that being Stoneheart and Kolobok. For Stoneheart it says this: "No one knows for sure the man who found it first and created the tale. To this day, stalkers claim the controller's heart resembles this common gravitational artifact. Any recorded disproof hasn't appeared yet though. Long-time interaction of Stoneheart with mammal species leads to an increase in their connective tissue density. For local subjects, that mainly means they can grab and carry more precious scrap." And for Kolobok it says this: "Not easy to find, even harder to keep. Kolobok wraps the cell structure of the nearest organism, making it remarkably resistant to any type of aggressive chemical agent. In Shadow of Chernobyl it was giving +5 to rupture, in Clear Sky it was actually held +4 with radiation -2, and in Call of Pripyat it was giving health resistance +4 and radiation -2, so I'm thinking it's definitely going through a change again in Stalker 2. When it comes to reviews, it seems from everything I was able to read that they will be releasing 2 hours before the game releases tomorrow, so there will be a very tight window between the two. I'm also not sure in which format they will release it, and hopefully they're able to properly show their own gameplay. If you are on the fence or still waiting, about this purchase and, you're waiting for a review, I would also suggest waiting until they come out tomorrow. It also seems that some people already started receiving their physical copies of the game, so if you do care about the story and the lore, I would be very careful on social media because someone could post, some spoilers or maybe even endgame, and that's something I definitely wouldn't want to see. And for the final piece of news, GSC also released new Radio Beats video, so you might want to check that out to get yourself ready for the release of the game. And also for the end, I want to show you system requirements one more time so you can see if your PC is able to run this game. Now, in my previous video I went more in detail about this, so if you want to see that, well, you can consult my previous video. On a personal note, I really hope Stalker 2 release goes smoothly, as much as it can. Now, I'm always anxious when it comes to games this big, releasing, but GSC did take multiple delays to work on it, so maybe it's going to work properly. But the biggest problem for me personally could be performance and stability. If that's good when it releases, I won't really have a problem with some bugs and glitches, as it seems they were always an integral part of the IP. Could also just be X-Ray Engine talking. Stalker 2 is coming out for PC and Xbox Series X and S, including Game Pass Day 1. There are 3 versions of the game: the base edition for $59.99 US, euros, or your region equivalent, deluxe edition for $79.99, and ultimate edition for $109.99. When it comes to PlayStation, after timed exclusivity is finished, I see no reason whatsoever for them not to release for PS5 as well, but more on that when we get concrete info, because there isn't really a lot about it so far. And this is everything for today. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay updated with everything Stalker 2 related, from news, guides, lore, gameplay and mods, subscribe today and join our community on Twitter and Discord. Huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. I will see you all tomorrow on release, and for now, get out of here, Stalker.